Hey, what is the secret to moving franchise candidates forward? What if it wasn't a better pitch, but rather than that, it's slowing down, listening deeply, and serving first? Welcome to the Art of the Inquiry. That's the series we're in for the next several weeks. We're going to be talking about building trust, deepening relationships, and closing the right deals without the chasing and without the pressure. Stick around.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
Hey, thanks for being with me. I appreciate it. I'm really excited, and I want to tell you why. I think this approach that I'm going to be talking about, which is the art of inquiry, this approach that puts others first, is going to make you stand out and is going to revolutionize how you sell franchises, how you make placements, and actually throw away the word selling in all of this. And I want to tell you what's going on. Earlier this year, I was at GLS Global Leadership Summit, and I was listening to John Maxwell, very famous guy, obviously. But he used this phrase called the art of inquiry. I don't think he's got it trademarked or anything, but it just stuck with me. It was a phrase that talked about being a more interesting person in improving the quality of your relationships. He wasn't talking about sales at all. He was talking about life, about how people who ask great questions, who have a lot of curiosity, genuinely curiosity, people who make the other person in the conversation or in the room feel more important than them, end up being the most engaging and trusted people in the room. And I'm sitting there, and again, the art of inquiry. Wow, I really like that phrase. What if I took that into my business? What if I took that into the franchise industry? What if I applied this in my business of franchise development? What if we stopped leading more with the transactional side of everything? And what if we focused on people? What if we focused on others first and placements second? In fact, I'm going to use a different phrase where we don't even think about placements. That moment in the GLS, the Global Leadership Summit, that reframed how I want our company and I want you to approach franchise conversations differently. And that's why this whole series over the next few weeks, today I'm going to talk about what it is and the pieces, the pillars of this. But that's how this art of the inquiry for franchise development was born. That moment changed how I now see every franchise conversation. And again, that's what we're going to be talking about in this series. So today, I'm going to talk about this overall, and I'm going to introduce the very first piece of this. And again, I just really think those of you who adopt this, those of you who embrace this, are really going to stand out in this noisy, crowded franchise development space. So, all right. So let's talk about relationship first and others first and franchise sales or placements second. Candidates buy trust. They don't buy franchises. The old model was talking points, scripts. If you're a broker, make a presentation quickly, and then everybody push the candidate into doing something with one of these brands. That's the old model. The new model that I'm encouraging you to adopt is people first, others first, serving first, guiding second. Nope, no sales in there at all, is there? So, why does this matter more today than ever before in the franchise world? I think it matters more for two core reasons. Candidates have more information today than they ever had before, but they have less clarity. Let me say that again. I think this is very, very important for you to embrace this. Candidates have more information and less clarity. The second thing is that they do need someone who sees them, who makes them the most important piece of the situation, the most important piece of the conversation, and not people that simply are going to try to sell them. That's why they put up their guards. That's why they get so concerned, because they feel they're going to be talked into something. But if you put them first, if you put serving them before everything else, I promise you, they're going to look at you in a different lens, with a different lens and a different framework. So this is what you want to write down. This is what we're going to be talking about over the next few weeks. It's serve, listen, stay curious, ask better, earn trust, and earn the next step. Again, serve, listen, stay curious, ask better, earn trust, and earn the next step. This is what we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to be breaking this all down over the next few weeks together. So let's get started by quickly reviewing the 4 steps that I just mentioned. Before we dive into step 1, which we will close today with step 1, here's what we're going to go over in the whole series over the next few weeks together. Serve first, guide second, no selling. This is a mindset shift. It's going to build trust early. It's going to build trust quicker. It's going to cement the trust, and you're going to become their biggest asset in this whole process. Second piece, listen for what's not being said. Why silence and emotion will tell you more than some of the words that they tell you. In fact, sometimes there's an old phrase, which I hate this phrase, but it's not malicious. There's a phrase about buyers are liars. And it's not that they're misleading you intentionally. It's just their perceptions of certain things or their fear of certain things. And so they couch it or frame things to you. But you have to listen for what's not being said. And silence is okay for listening. Third piece, stay curious longer. How genuine curiosity just opens up doors more than any scripts can. Now, I'm not saying don't have good questions prepared. I'm not saying don't be prepared. But what I know you're looking at me going, Don, but time kills deals overall. But I'm saying don't get too quick to go, or don't be too rushed to get to the presentations. I see a lot of brokers in particular in this point. They want to rush to get people into presentation sessions and off to the brands. What I'm telling you is to find out more, get to know your candidates better, then fine tune and make a better match for them. Give them better selections when you present. And then the sale, quite candidly, is going to go much quicker because they'll have better choices. Actually, they'll have the best choices that you can give them. So stay curious longer. We're going to talk about that in the next coming weeks. And then the last point here is to ask fewer but better questions. Again, the right question at the right time unlocks the next steps naturally. And always remember, it's not an interrogation, okay? Sometimes I have found myself by pounding the person with questions, peppering the person with questions. I realized over the years and stepping back by going, man, that was just a little bit too much of an interrogation. Should have that big light on them, like in the old cop show days. So ask fewer but better questions, and we're going to talk about what some of those things look like. I promise you that by the end of this series, you're going to have a simple, repeatable framework that's going to guide your conversations that are actually going to move more people forward. And I think that's what you really ultimately want. You want to see more people move forward. All right. So, let's talk about serving first. Let's talk about putting others first, guiding second, and then no selling. The problem is that, particularly with you brokers, the problem is, but with developers as well, you always seem to want to start with the franchise. You want to start with what I call the logic. Candidates in that scenario, they feel rushed. They feel like they're a transaction. They don't feel heard. They don't feel related to. They don't candidly feel like a person. And this is where their guards go up. This is where their fear is. This is where they're keeping you at a distance because they don't feel like you're listening to them or you know them well enough. This is a logic approach. Don't get me wrong. You need logic, you need facts, you need information about the brands to close the deal, to make the placements. But the point is that you can't lead with that. That's about 20% of the sale. And I've been teaching this for years. 80% emotion, 20% the numbers and the logic. So if you're leading with the logic, boy, you just reduce your probability of selling. So don't go to that point too quickly. Put others first, serve them, guide them second, and don't be thinking so much about the transaction or the sale or the logic. It's a mindset shift. You're going from how do I close this to how do I serve this person? How do I close this to how do I serve this person? So, practical ways of how to serve them. So, this is this first step of serving and the mindset of others first. Open with curiosity about them, not the opportunity. Stop focusing on what you can do for them. Sure, you have to introduce yourself and what you do, but at the end of the day, you want everything to be about them. And you want to later on in the processes start talking about the opportunities. And again, you don't want all the conversation to be about you. You want to be leading with others first. You want to be leading with them first. Another point is to look for ways to help. Even if they never buy, to be honest with you, give them value at every engagement, every interface, every conversation. Be sure they're getting value. This is something I do in my coaching calls when I'm coaching folks in business, in Fran Dev. I always make sure that at the end of that session, that they got value, that they're taking something away, and you can have that same mindset in this scenario. How can you help them? What's giving them value? Don't think about them buying. Think about serving. A third piece simply here is to offer clarity, offer education, connect with them. Again, without the agenda of you want to sell them something. There's tons of information. Boy, I really, as I wrote that and put this together, there is tons of information out there, a plethora of information, but there's not a lot of clarity for the buyers. So there information overload without a lot of clarity and knowing what to do with it. That's where you come in, particularly again, if you're a broker, that's really where you come in. So why in your conversations with people, why pile on more information that candidly is just going to overwhelm them? I've talked about this in many, many of my episodes, a lot of my training and webinars and things, is to be very careful about the volume of information you give someone. And on this particular point, why overload them with information that they probably have overall in general? And why do that too quickly in the process? So yes, again, eventually it's needed for them to make a decision, but not up front. So where you want to be thinking, I'm going to give you some of these phrases, and again, you don't have to use these word for word, but I encourage you to build your own list out, but you want to have it around this flow or this mindset. Ask them things like, what's most important to you as you explore this opportunity or this track or this decision? How can I make this process feel more clear for you? How can I help you reduce your stress while going through this process? What would be most helpful for you at this stage? You can ask that at the beginning. You can ask that as you're going through the process. If you're sensing worry, concern, fear, hesitation, what would you like to hear from me that has helped other people? Would there be other things that I can share with you from my years of experience that's going to help you along the way as I've helped others? That is going to make you feel more confident about this decision. What questions do you have or concerns that are on your mind right now about where we are in the process, or again, early on in the process, that I might be aware of to help you with along the way? Or what questions or concerns are on your mind that we haven't talked about? Or what questions or concerns are on the mind of your spouse or the other stakeholders in this process? And is there anything in particular that comes to your mind of a way that I could support you in this process? Yes, people have not been through this. I say this a lot of times, that most people have not been through a process like this before. So yeah, you have to have a process and you have to control this, but you're looking for ways that you can make it very unique to them, very tweaked to them, without getting way off in the weeds. But you want to make this become personal. You want to make this become their process, even though you have a process of taking everybody through. So these kinds of questions, this mindset is going to help you focus on their needs and their experiences and their experience with you, rather than things you can say to them, things you can give to them, rather than even pushing. Again, I believe in being sure you earn the right to go to the next step, but rather than them feeling like you're pushing them into the next step, you're going to want them to be excited to go to the next step. So why do I believe so strongly now in this serving first? And why do I believe it works? One is that serving first reduces pressure. Serving first builds trust, and it'll build trust early. They will not be, let's put it in the positive, they'll be shocked that someone is making it so much about them and so focused on them, and that you're genuinely curious about them. They'll be shocked at that. And again, it's going to want to make them come back for more. It's also going to lead to clarity, the kind of clarity that each individual needs. Again, I believe in a process, but I don't believe in cookie cutter, one size fits all. This is going to allow you, within your standard steps and process, this is going to allow you to tweak it for each individual person, leading to better quality, better clarity for them, a better quality candidate for you and the brands. Again, if you're a broker, the brands you're going to introduce them to. And the bottom line is it attracts the right people. It will attract the people who will be your placements, will be your buyers. It's also going to allow you to stop chasing. People are going to want to talk to you. In the last couple of podcasts, I've talked about you becoming their biggest asset in this process. And this approach of others first, serving, is going to have them feeling very personal and personally like they're somebody, and the candidate's going to start leaning into the whole process. So you won't have to chase them. They're going to see you as the asset that's going to help them make a good decision. And if you build this type of reputation as an others first trusted guide and not a pushy salesman, you're going to make more placements. You're going to help more people and you're going to make more placements. So the art of inquiry is the next few weeks together. I appreciate your listening. Next time, we're going to be talking about listening for things that are not being said, the habit of reading your candidates, of hearing what they're saying, but truly feeling what they're projecting. Maybe for the first time in the whole process for them, maybe first time in their whole life that anyone has done this with them. So you're going to stand out as being different. And again, you're going to become their best asset. So next week, we're going to be talking about listening, and in particular, listening for things that are not said. So now, again, if you've gotten value out of today, throw some comments in there. Give me the thumbs up, like the episode, subscribe to the podcast. Appreciate your comments and questions in the comments section. And then again, before I close completely, I like to share my heart and what's behind everything I do. To me, it's not about systems. It's not about a sale. On the other side of every FA franchise agreement is a person. It's a family. It's multiple families when employment opportunities are created, and it's overall communities. So my work is rooted in doing this the right way, doing this responsibly, getting people in the right places, or in some cases telling folks, I don't think this is the right thing for them. We at Franchise Building Expert like to equip people with the right foundations. That's why I do the podcast, all my webinars, our coaching programs. If you're a franchisor, a lot of the programs we have for you and your Fran Dev reps, as well as your franchisees. So we're all about leadership, good, responsible placements, finances, not taking somebody's last nickel. And it's all just, for me, it's rooted in my overall faith. My faith puts others first. And I believe this just builds stronger businesses. And for me, it's building a legacy. I believe in the Bible. I believe in a God and a creator of the universe. I do all my things to help bring him greater glory. And my legacy is all about my grandchildren and, candidly, a multi-generational impact of having an impact, making a difference, leaving a legacy, not only for my grandchildren, but for my grandchildren's grandchildren. So thanks again for being with me. Look forward to seeing you back at the next episode. Again, the art of inquiry.